and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air? Every Tuesday listless from 2 to 3 or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities from the Loyola School's campus ministry office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air.
Rejoice! Refresh! Renew! Listen to the artists of the Jesuit Music Ministry. Search jescom.ph on the app or click on this link to learn more.
Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at radyo-katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Jesuit Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. This is your stop for all things pop. Catch our all-around pop culture geek, Chola Sediaren, as he throws in some dose of what's poppin' and what's hot in the pop culture scene here on Popcorn. Munch in with us every Thursdays from 4 to 6, only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Rejoice, refresh, renew. Listen to the artists of the Jesuit Music Ministry. Search jescom.ph on the app or click on this link to learn more.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Mamangha sa lalim at ganda ng ating kultura at diwang makabayan sa mga salita at pahina. Sa tulong ng mga guro at manunulat ng panitikang Pilipino, halina't tuklasin ang yaman ng ating panitikan, ang pamana ng ating lahi. Ito ang Sari-Sari, tuwing Miyerkules, 11:00 ng umaga, dito sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. The voice of the Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Di Pag Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter po sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon po, mga tagapakinig ng Radyo Katipunan at ng aming palatuntunang Lundagin mo, Beybeh.
Alright.
Pagbubuhay po. Happy Easter, Sir Jovi.
Happy Easter, Ron!
I miss you, Sir Jovi. Ewan ko ba kung bakit.
dalawang linggo tayo din nakita.
Isang Lunes tayong wala, di ba? Nagkaroon tayo, tapos yung Lunes ng Holy Week, wala na tayo. Di ba? Tapos, kumbaga, after 2 weeks, we see each other again. At I'm so pleased. Medyo iba yatang backdrop mo. Merong outdoor ako nakikita.
Nasa ano kami, nasa Tagaytay. So, one of our...
Patay-tay na lang. Ba't di mo ako sinama, sir? Sino kayo magkakasama?
Yung family ko.
Hapon pa kayo dyan? Easter pa o ngayong umaga lang? Ano?
Since mga more than a week na.
More than a week na?
Our house in
Tagaytay. Ang saya. So, mas malakas ba dyan kaysa sa Makati? Ang ating bandwidth dyan.
Ano?
Mas malakas bang bandwidth ng internet dyan kaysa sa Makati?
Hindi ko alam.
Ako
Ngayon
naman,
pala nga try eh. Kadalasan umuwi ako before our show para ngayon ko lang itatry kung mas maayos yung internet. So, maayos. You came from a meeting.
I came from a meeting. This is a very packed Monday, no? Nagsimula itong mula nung Holy Week, no? Easter kahapon. May klase na ako ng alas 9. Pagkatapos, natapos ng alas 2, alas 3, umattend ako ng meeting na hanggang alas 5. Yung meeting na yun ay tungkol sa vaccine. Kasi yung isang grupo na kasinalihan ko, Theater Actors Guild, ay umaaral ng mga posibilidad paano makukuha yung vaccine. Lalong-lalo na sa mga nasa huli sa listahan ng priority ng LGU.
Nasaan ba ang mga aktor sa listahan?
Time is of the essence. Hindi naman. Yung edad kasi, di ba? Pero time is of the essence. Paano mo tamaan ako ngayon, tapos bukas yung schedule ko ng vaccine. So parang nakakatakot. It could be any day. And ano mang matitipid ko, alam ko naman, LGU, na Antipolo, Marikina, meron mag-iisip yan, pwede ko hintayin. Siguro yung employer din natin, Ateneo, at siguro may isip din Kalaunan, pero dahil pinayagan na rin ng presidente, ng Pangulo ng private sectors, yung isang grupo namin ay nag-iipon na. Pero pinayagan lang hindi ko alam gaano kadali pa rin gawin yun. Pumayag nga na kumontak, pero di natin alam ano yung pinag-usapan nga doon, gaano kabilis, gaano kabilis yung mga papeles na kailangan bago kapayagan. Pero yung maghanap, pwede naman maghanap. Kaya yun. Yun pinagaling ko meeting. Tapos, di pa sila tapos. Sabi ko, nagpaalam na ako. Pupunta na ako kay Sir Jovi. Kay Sir Jovi talaga. Sa aking palatuntunan. Sa aking radyo-katipunan. Dahil maganda ang paksa namin ngayon.
Oo.
Maganda yung paksa. Maganda. Pero hindi ko alam paano pag-uusapan to. Pag sinabi ko maganda ang paksa, nagsisimula po kasi kami mag-usap sa paksa sa weekend pa lang. Sa mga nakikinig para sa kaalaman ng lahat. At
alam mo, mukhang marami na nakikinig sa atin, so batiin natin silang lahat.
Sige,
binabati po namin kayo, aming mga tagapakinig.
Si Hansley lalo na. Si Hansley, pag-post pa lang natin, binabati na tayo. Si Hansley ay suki natin at Happy Easter din sa'yo. Sir Hansley Juliano, isang kaibigan, malapit na kaibigan natin sa radyo-katipunan, sa Lundagin mo, Beybeh. At syempre, at suki rin, hindi lang basta kaibigan. Lahat ng mga usapin na pwede namin siya makalabit, syempre siyang kakalabitin namin. Dahil siya naman po ay laging magiliw na nagpapaunlak. Yun po, pinabati namin lahat na ikinig, ang mga magulang ko na matagal ko na hindi nadadalaw sa Marikina, nasa Antipolo ko Dati mas madali sa akin dumalaw-dalaw, pero itong mga huling linggo, medyo mas duwag na huli ako. Dahil sa...
Ingat. Ingat.
Umaakyat, tapos nalilito na ako sa variants. Nalilito rin ako, umaakyat at the same time parang dumededly. Hindi ko lang dumededly. Parang nagiging obituary na yung ating social media sa dami ng pumanaw. Ano ba to? Baka nagkataon lang, pero ganyan din na sinasabi ng mga kaibigan ko. Magkakaiba naman set of friends namin. Parang hindi lang sa dumami, parang dumedly. Parang ang daming na ICU at ang daming pumapanaw at ang dami talagang pati yung mga athletes, mga batang-bata, bigla naging napuruhan ngayon. So, sir, meron talaga ako, aminin ko, konting pangamba, malaking pangamba. Naku po. Dali lang Kayo na muna magsalita sa maraming kapitbahay.
Acknowledge lang natin si Miriam Marinas. She's a friend of mine from STC alumni. Happy Easter also, Miriam.
Happy Easter, Miss Miriam Marinas. Okay? Yun lang, ako binati ko yung pamilya ko, hindi ko na nadadalo. At siyempre lahat ng iba pa, in a special way, pinagdarasal ko rin yung mga nabanggit ko, yung pamilya yung mga naiwanan ni Sir Romy Kayanan, yung tatay ng kabatch kong si Eugene Kayanan. Kabatch ko yan mula pa nung high school sa Tarlac. At kami nakikidalamhati at inaalay namin sa inyong aming taking sa mga dasal. Maraming ganun, sir.
Si Ariel Escasa.
Si Ariel Escasa
kasama natin sa TA.
Kasama sa Tangalang Ateneo alumni, Napakamagiliw at masayahing tao, At yun nga rin po, COVID po, may kinalaman sa COVID. Hindi man yun pa, ayaw ka ng pag-usapan pa, ibigla sabihin sa siya pang bigat na usapin. At ito ay kapapapos lang ng ating Pasko ng Pagkabuhay, ito ay panahon ng pag-asa. Hindi ito panahon na malugmok sa ating...
Paano ba ang Holy Week mo, Sir Ron?
Dito lang din sa pamilya, ang isang malungkot na ang asawa ko ay hindi ko na pinayagang bumalik kasi nga nag-quarantine din ng Holy Week, di ba? So madalas sumabalik siya mula Pasay, uwi siya rito. Kami na lang nag-uusap. Siya na lang nag-sponsor ng pagkain namin dito. Kasi wala nga gustong lumabas at walang gustong bumiyahe. At ngayon na-extend pa. So masaya naman, nasa bahay lang kami. At ayaw namin lumabas. Kung anong masayang iluto dito, niluto namin nung linggo. Nung mga nakilugaw ako. Naglugaw ako. Pero yun nga, nakiisa naman kami sa abstinence. fasting, pero yun, lugaw, egg caldo. At lalo na may nauso kasing lugaw, di ba? Yung parang tatanong ko, lugaw ba yung essential o hindi? Nakakatawa yun. Hindi ako
Dapat
natutuwa.
pala yun ang topic natin ngayong araw na ito, di ba?
Okay.
Dahil philosophy tayo. What is essential?
Ano nga ba essential? Ay, naku. Next meeting, pag-usapan natin what is essential. So, marami nakiisa. Meron ako, naki-profile picture nila, may mga lugaw-lugaw. So, yun lang naman. Yun, wala. Simple. At pag simple kayo sa akin at mahinahon ay isang malaking ginhawa na eh. So, masaya ako. Simple at mahinahon. Alam niyo naman ako, nakikita niyo naman siguro sa show natin, ako ay taong aligaga. Pero medyo settled.
Ikaw ay medyo humupa.
Ng Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Settled ako. Okay? So kaya nga bigla puno uli itong Lunes na ito. At,
may klase pa ba sa junior high school? May klase pa ba?
May klase pa. Siguro abutin pa kami ng buong Abril pa kami. Kasi nga atrasado rin kami nagsimula nung itong kakaibang school year na ito, hindi ba? Ginamit namin yung dagdag na isa't kalahating buwan para mag-aral paano gawin itong online. So naatrasado kami ng simula at kaya medyo atrasado rin ito amin. Hindi ko alam kung lalampas ng Abril, hindi ko na sigurado. Pero for sure, itong buong Abril, nandito pa kami. Agawa at papasok. So yun nga. Ikayo, sir. Si Ma'am Alma Pavia is watching. Alma Rene, ang kanyang. Hi, Alma.
I miss HR yan.
You. Okay. I miss the HR. So, yan. So, yun nga. Ano
so, bagay na bagay pa din ang ating paksa, no? Paano natin ituturo ang pag-asa sa ating kabataan? Paano mo yan,
paano ituturo ang pag-asa? Yan po ang aming pag-uusapan ngayon. Paano ituturo ang pag-asa sa kabataan? Kaya naman ang pamagat namin ngayon ay ang pag-asa, ang kabataan ng bayan. Parang medyo baligtad. Pinaglaruan lang namin. Madalas yung kay Jose Rizal, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. Pero siguro ang pag-asa, ang kabataan ng bayan. In English, para mas maintindihan sa English, hope is the rejuvenation. Alam niyo may juven is young, no? Is the rejuvenation.
That's my name.
Jovi. Nga pala, that's your name. Yeah. Hope is the rejuvenation of the nation. Ang pag-asa, ang kabataan ng bayan. Pero siguro mas iinugan natin yung mismong kabataan din. Kahit na alam natin ang pag-asa naman ay dapat maukol sa lahat, no? Sa lahat, nakatatanda. Ano nga ba, sir? Bakit natin tinatanong yun? Paano ituturo?
Sinabi ni Rafi Tejada, ang ganda ng paksa. Uy, salamat po.
Ang ganda ng paksa. Salamat, Rafi. Salamat, Rafi. Ang pag-asa, ang kabataan ng bayan. Oo nga. Hope is the rejuvenation of a nation. Totoo nga naman, no? Kasi kung wala kang pag-asa, wala na. Talagang kukuluntoy ka na. Parang malulukot ka na at matutunaw at maagnas. Pag-asa ang pinaka pag-asa ang pinaka kailangan mo.
Ito ang ika nga ni Marcel ay ito ang elan vital. Ito ang nagbibigay alat o asim sa buhay.
Alat o asim sa buhay. Ako
elan
nga.
Vital.
Maayon ako kay Marcel, no? Pero alat at asim kasi ay parang pangtimpla eh. Ako, yung mismong bertud yata ng buhay ay pag-asa.
Pang walang pag-asa, wala. Habang may pag-asa, may buhay.
Pag-asa talaga, pag-asa. Pero hindi ba yun pambobola lang ng sarili? Maramang yan ang mismong masarap ituro ngayon sa kabataan, sa lahat ng tao. Kaya minsan, hindi sila makumpiyansa sa pag-asa kasi meron ba talagang pwedeng asahan? Sir, itong paksa natin ngayon, gusto ko lang, good afternoon po, happy Easter din, Miss Cathy, Catherine Cardos. sir, aminin ko sa inyo, paano nga ba? Ako ay may pag-asa. Pero hindi ko alam kung kaya kong ireto itong aking pakiramdam sa mga tao.
Bakit naman hindi?
Hindi ko alam. Kasi ako, may sarili akong kalagayan ngayon. Nandito ako sa loob ng bahay ko. May naman akong trabaho na may sweldo naman ako. Wala pa namang sana po nagkakasakit. Hindi mahirap sa akin ng magkaroon ng pag-asa. Pero ayaw kong maggaling-galingan na ireto yung pag-asa. Talagang meron yan. Sa iba pa. Kasi alam ko ang nangyayari sa iba. Iba, pumanaw ang kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Yung iba, nawalan ng trabaho. Yung iba, takot na takot. By the day, di nila alam paano. Parang, pati yung mga kilala kong middle class ay nasa isang kaig, isang tuka mode ngayon. Takot yung buhay na gano'n. Kasi hindi naman tumitigil ang mga gastos mo at lahat. So, yun
saka kung titignan natin yung nangyayari sa lipunan natin, hindi natin alam kung talaga may pag-asa.
Hindi mo rin alam kung saan lumalaki ang bilang, tapos saan ako nagkamali? Anong gagawin ko? Ninenervous na ako, ginagawa ko naman lahat ng sinasabi yung gawin ko. Parang yung nalulunod ka, no? Tapos, sige, kampay mo lang yung paa mo. Kinakampay ko. O sige, kampay mo pa yung legs mo. Kinakampay ko. Ano nagagawin ko? Nalulunod.
Lahat na ginawa mo, di ba? Nalulunod pa din. O kaya, ginto na, naging bato pa. Kasi bumaba na eh.
Oo, at saka malaki na binaba, no? Anyway, kaya ngayon, sir. So, ang ibig ko lang sabihin, kaya ako sinabi, ikaw bahala ngayon. Ano ba sagot niya? Ikaw bahala, Sir Jovi.
Okay naman.
Ano ba sagot
dahil kasama naman sa...
Paano ituro ang kabataan? Ang kabataan ay ituro yan sa kabataan sa lahat. Paano mo bibigyan ng panibagong buhay o kabataan ng bayan natin sa pamagitan ng pag-asa? Hindi ba yan? Ano kaibahan ng pag-asa? Ano kaibahan ng pag-asa sa delusion?
Parang wala. Hindi.
Parang wala. Sir, wag ka magsabi. Ako pag nagsabi ako, halata ng mga tao pag nagbibiro ako. Ikaw hindi nila alam. Mga mamay mo, merong nakaabang sa atin sa sasabihin mo dahil ikaw yung seryoso. Ako, lampasin nila.
Ayan na.
Kung ikaw nagsabi, makonfirm nila.
Nanonood na ang boss. Si Father Nono, nanonood na siya.
Father Nono, hello Father Nono. So ano nga ba?
Parang gano'n, no? Parang uso din ngayon yung tinatawag na false hope. False hope.
Yes.
So parang totoo ba na may pag-asa?
Baka yun ang tanong ko. Meron tayong kilalang false hope. Ano ba ang true hope? Ano bang genuine hope? Kasi kailangan yata matanong yan para pamay mo nandun na pala ako sa kabila. Hindi ko pa alam. Sige Sir Jovi, take it away.
Kasama naman yan sa tinuturo natin sa filosofiya ng relihiyon, no? Kasi nga, yung isang mahabang sanaysay na binabasa natin doon, yung kay Marcel, tungkol yun sa pag-asa. Pero parang sinasabi kasi nung gumawa ng curriculum ng philosophy of religion, madaling intindihin yung faith. Yung kulang sa atin, yung pagdinilay sa kung ano ang pag-asa. Parang hindi natin masyado siyang... So madali pag-usapan ko nyari yung service, diba? Service, men and women for others, or love, diba? Madali pag-usapan niya. O kaya belief, ganyan. Pero yung hope, parang malabo siya para sa maraming tao. Kaya minabuti na malaking bahagi ng filosofiya ng relihiyon ay tungkol sa pag-asa. So yun ang unang tanong. Para maging totoo o hindi yung pag-asa ng isang tao, kailangan linawin niya ano yung ibig sabihin niya ng pag-asa. Ano nga ba ibig sabihin?
Oo nga. Sige nga, Sir Jovi, take it away. Ako naman, wala akong problema sa... Ako ay masayang tao. I'm positive. Pero hindi ko alam kung pag-asa ito. Baka ito ay bunga lang ng lohika na nakikita ko sa mga nakaraang pangyayari. So in which case, hindi siya faith, hindi siya hope. Hindi ko alam eh. So I'm just positive. Pero because meron akong tiwala, trust.
Posible na, di ba, may kilala tayo na buong buhay niya nagbudsod sa kanya yung konsepto ng positive thinking, si Donald Trump. So, si Donald Trump, talagang positive thinker siya. Pero sa katapusan, it was not enough, no? Nung last year, kahit may positive thinking siya, yung positive thinking niya was actually the one also making him make wrong choices, bad choices. So posible na yung positive thinking does not lead to real hope, no? Or it leads to greater disappointment and it leads to greater frustration.
Yeah, exactly. So ako hindi ko naman pinagkakamalan, pero yun na nga, hindi ko yun alam paano itangi, no? Ang tawag ko, accurately, is positive thinking. But I'm not going to instantly call it hope kasi feeling ko may hindi pa ako naunawaan tungkol sa konsepto ng hope or na para pagkamalang kong positive thinking. Ano bang kaibahan, sir?
Yung hope, unang-una, is not about kung ano yung you want to happen. It's not about wishing. So iba yung, I wish, sana matapos na yung pandemya. O kaya sana ito yung mangyari. Sana ganun. Hindi yun hope. Hindi yun ang ibig sabihin ng hope. Ang pag-asa ay meron kang gusto mangyari and then yun ay optimism, no? That everything will work out fine. Yeah. Optimismo yun. Pero malayong-malayo siya sa pag-asa. Yung pag-asa, kailangan lumagpas doon. Kailangan lumagpas siya sa wishful thinking. So yun din yung mahalaga para sa mga kabataan natin na maintindihan nila na magkaiba yun konsepto na meron silang gusto, they're wishing for something, and then iba yung that they're hoping for something. So wishing kasi, parang iniisip mo, just the mere fact that you're wishing something, you're entitled for it to come true, no? Dahil winish mo siya.
So, tama. Ang wishing ay, alam mo rin feasible siya kasi entitled ka eh. Parang, sana mangyari na yan. Sana matapos na ako sa aking thesis, ganyan. Kasi dahil nag-ano naman ako, nagsisikap naman ako.
So in fact, yung isang material na tinignan ko bilang paghahanda dito, syempre lahat ng estudyante gusto nila magka-A, di ba? Lahat ng estudyante gusto mataas yung grade nila. But that is not pagka ganon, we are not really empowering them to become hopeful. Kapag yung A, I wish I had an A. Pagka ganon lang lagi yung formulation, mas, di ba, ano yung experience mo, Sir Ron? Kapag medyo ganon lang yung attitude ng estudyante, Sir, I wish I had an A. I was wishing for an A, sana, sir. Ano yung normally nagiging nangyayari? Sir Ron?
Why? So he has to qualify it. What gives you the right to wish it?
Lalo siya nahihirapan, di ba? Lalo nawawala yung kanyang motivation. Kasi parang the A, because normally the student maybe is not yet an A student, di ba? Kung nagwi-wish lang siya for an A, normally hindi pa siya yung A student. So there's the greater possibility na ma-frustrate siya. So sabi nung literature. So kailangan it's beyond I hope for this. Parang there should be a capacity for that person to make goals which are realistic. And that's the trickiest part, Sir Ron. Na hindi natin
it's so tricky. Hindi ko pa rin nasakyan, sir. Hindi ko pa rin nasakyan. It's so tricky. Hindi ko pa rin nasakyan. Pero sa Tagalog, pareho siyang sana eh. So sa Tagalog, pareho siyang sana. Both the wishing and the hoping, di ba? Meron siyang parehong sana. Pero even distinguish, yung sana na hope at yung sana na wish.
Oh, that's true. Mahirap nga ituro to kasi pareho sa Pilipino, sana siya pareho, di ba? So yung nagwi-wish ka lang for an A, that can lead to greater depression, in fact, or you're wishing for a perfect life, or you're wishing for na bumalik na tayo doon, di ba? Sabi na, kailan kaya tayo makaka-travel ulit? Kailan tayo kaya we can do everything that we were doing before the pandemic? That will actually lead to greater despair.
Kasi
Yes, why? Sige, alalayan mo ako, Sir Jovi. Napakabagal ko ngayon.
Kasi
Last pag na ako ngayong Lunes, no?
Kasi it's not realistic.
So, since it's not realistic, it will lead you to greater despair.
Yes.
Okay?
Mas madali kang for disappointment. You're opening yourself
ano ba yan? Ano yan? That's wishing.
Wishing yan.
Is that wishing?
Or even
ang wishing could lead you to optimism or wishing wishful thinking might lead you to greater despair because
kasi hindi siya nakaangkla sa goal. Hindi siya goal. You know? In other words, na bumalik tayo sa time na katulad ng bago mag-pandemya is of course not a realistic goal. You know, it cannot right now, no? Of course we want to go back to normalcy. But kumbaga as an individual, me going back to what I used to do before the pandemic, that is really impossible. Or yes, gusto na yung estudyante na magka-Asia, pero at this time, what is realistic? So kailangan
I think nalilito yata tayo sa example natin na maka-A ang student kasi that is really possible. Siguro ang masabihin natin, hilingin mo ngayon, i-wish mo ngayon na pwede nang lumabas in a week's time. Yun ay medyo hindi magandang wish. Parang wish yun sa genie, no? Wish mo ngayon na bigla kang yumaman o lahat ng mga tao magkagusto sa'yo. Yun yung mga wish na tinutukoy mo. Na palamang, ihahatid ka lang nun sa greater despair. Yun ba tinutukoy mo, sir?
But even wanting an A might not, you know, wishing for an A is not enough. You must take that A as a goal. Kailangan yung magkaiba yung wish for something.
So akala ko, sir, ang kaibahan ng wish at saka ng hope, wishing at saka hope, ay yung klase ng wini-wish mo. Hindi pala, pwedeng parehong wini-wish na. Pero pwedeng pareho yung tinitingnan mo. Pero ang kaibahan ng wish sa goal, gumawa ka ng mga tinatrabaho mo ito. Ganun ba? Ewan ko. Yeah. So akala ko itatangi natin yung mga klase ng sana. Yung pala hindi. Kundi yung mga hakbang para matupad yung sana.
Kasi tricky talaga siya. Tricky kasi siya. Kaya nga sabi nung sinasabi sa atin lagi, alam mo talaga, ang pinakamahirap unawain is hoping. Kasi talaga belief. Madali kwento yan. Madali sabihin sa mga bata. You believe in something, you know. Love, madali din yan na ipaliwanag sa kabataan, di ba?
Hindi.
Time, treasure, and talent, di ba? Time, treasure, and talent. Okay, pwede na nila masakyan yun, di ba?
Love,
medyo, hope,
conviction.
Mahirap yan, mahirap. So in fact, the other thing is, we can actually measure a person's hopefulness. So
mamaya na yan, sir. I'm happy that we have that.
Talaga siyang
i-define. Gusto ko lang i-define muna, sir. Yeah, nasakyan ko, sir. 5:28 na. Baka mamaya pag nasakyan ko to, mas marami pa akong tanong. Kaya buti na natin.
So exactly.
So kaibahan ngayon, anong kaibahan ng wish?
The real sign na hopeful ang isang tao ay hindi kung malaki yung wishes niya. Kung hindi, kung meron siyang capacity to make goals. So,
to make what?
Make goals. Meron siyang mga layunin. Malayunin yung kanyang... so, ganun sa estudyante. So, hindi ka lang mag-wish for an A. You must take that as a goal. And if you take that as a goal, that is the trickiest part, di ba, Sir Ron? Kung gusto magkaroon ng...
Mr. Nang, hope is strategic planning?
But even strategic planning is not probably the best example for that.
This is the strategic planning. Tignan mo yung strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats mo. Tapos tignan mo yung mga lahat yan. So,
but more than that is the capacity to create pathways to reach your goal. So we're talking about a young person. No? We're talking about a person who is just starting out, di ba? And hopefully, if we are able to teach more young people how to hope in the real way, not just,
because we have this strat planning seminar. Uh, in you know, they in the future, our nation will truly be hopeful. No? Hindi lang siya yung
Yes. Sir Joey, ako yung nakiki-youth at nakikibata ako sa ginawa rito. Medyo nakakapagod anong kaiba nila. Yung isa ay isang tinapon lang ng walang responsibilidad, yun ay wish. Pero yung hope ay medyo may konting pagtataya at pananagutan. Nandun na ako, no? Nandun na ako. Sige, meron itataya ko sarili ko dyan, meron ding makukuha yan sa sarili ko. At malamang mas meron hope, yun yung kaibahan. Hindi pa masyadong malinaw, pero to that extent, malinaw sa akin. Ngayon, ang tanong ko,
it's like this. It's like this,
Sir Jovi, kaya ako nagtuturo minsan, bakit natin i-alok yung hope na yan sa mga bata?
It's like
bakit?
this.
Bakit siya gusto yun ng mga bata? Why? Sabi ko palagi sa
kung gusto mo malaman kung yung bata merong hope, may hopefulness siya. Tignan mo kung meron siyang capacity to make goals, to set goals. Real goals, ha? Na siya yung nagsaset. Hindi yung sinet nung magulang niya for him. Or hindi yung sinet ng yung messaging na nakukuha niya from the outside, no? From the peers or from Facebook or from wherever, from movies or whatever. Na siya mismo, pinili niya yung goal niya na yon. And we know that, di ba? For example, when I decided, I want to aim for that role in that play, then I will audition. Of course, I cannot just become part of it. I have to audition first. You know, I have to make it in the audition, and then and then not only make it in the audition, really aim for that role, di ba? But it's different when somebody says.
Not that I'm resisting your definition, but by the definitions I am getting now of hope. Definition muna ako, sir.
Sure.
It's like strategic planning. It's like goal setting. Yun ang hope, no? And I'm okay with that. Sabihin lang natin kung hindi, lalo na sa ating mga tagapakinig. Is this habit of goal setting or strategic planning, is this?
The point, Sir Ron, is this. Strat plan is not what we're talking about. In other words,
no.
That's not what we're talking about. We are not just offering the idea of strategic planning. It's not planning. Planning is different from goal setting. In other words, when an individual, it's exactly that, Sir Ron. I've been to many strat plans already. My gosh, where are you getting all this? Where are you getting all these ideas?
As I'm listening to the definition, to the distinction between wishing and hoping.
Yes. So, in other words, it's like this, Sir Ron. If, for example, your goal, unang-una, yung mga kabataan natin, meron ba silang capacity to set goals? Not just, I want to improve my life. Except, if you have a goal, then you have to have the capacity to create pathways for them. In other words, itinet mo na goal. Diba? Sinet natin goal to lower the cases.
Yeah.
Then we should be able to set the pathway. Ako mismo, as an individual, I should be able to know what I can do, my goals. And that's how it's not just strat plan, kasi strat plan normally, decide from the top yung pathway. Did you decide from the top yung pathway?
Halimbawa, we are board of directors and we had a strategic planning. And we dreamed for our organization. And then we tried to be more aware, self-aware. Yung ano. Pag nakita yung self-awareness, makita namin yung opportunities, growth, opportunities, threats, strengths, weaknesses. And then pagkatapos namin ma-set yung mga, dahil dyan, ito yung goal natin. At gagawa kami ng mga, ang tawag doon ay mga milestones. Di ba yun yung pathways na tinatawag mo? Milestones din. So, nalito nga tuloy ako.
No. That's precisely the real point, Sir Ron. We don't do that for our youth. If we're going to teach our youth how to hope, we don't set the pathways for them. We don't set the goals for them. we teach them how to
Okay,
set
sa
their own
pag-clarification,
goals.
I have kids. Kids ko na lang, para walang
Yes.
maano. Yung kids ko, sometimes meron silang gustong maabot. Like, gusto ko makabili itong gitarang ito. So, yung anak ko, magtitingnan niya yung kanyang allowance, kung anong kailangan niyang tipirin para at this date, kaya na niya mabili yan. Hindi yun mere wishing. It's actually goal setting with strategic planning. Is that hope?
That's if your child is able to set goals, if that is a goal that your child set for himself or herself, then maybe your child is hopeful. But if for example, we just set our children, for example, if a young person sets a goal because of what he sees outside the, like the peer group, or what Facebook, because it's something that he can show off on Facebook, because it's something that he can that he feel better about himself. Maybe it's not a goal that he has set for himself. For example,
So, sinasabi po, sir, ang hope ay goal setting at strategic planning ng personal goal mo. Personal.
No, it's really very, very simple. In other words, maybe what we cannot see is that hope is not something magical. A person who has hope.
Yeah. I get that.
Person who has hope is not somebody who is able to set very high ambitions or very, very, something that will really change the whole world, diba? This is something that we want to change in our culture, especially in the Ateneo. Something that, let us change the structures, or let us do justice.
What is hope then?
We should be able, first and foremost, to teach our children how to hope. So if we're going to reach all of those things, we have to understand that hope is something simple. And it is indeed, as you say, yun na palang hope, Stratton. So I've been hoping all this time. Maybe. In other words, it's according to a very clear and simple definition of hope. It's a person's capacity to set goals. Kasi kunyari, di ba, ngayon, as people say, I'm so confined, I don't know what to do. Or maybe you saw that post, I'm doing so many things, I'm not doing anything, and yet I'm always tired. I'm doing so many things, and yet I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. Maybe what is really missing is that your capacity to set a very clear goal for yourself, especially every day, because the goal can change, diba? It cannot be, I want this is my path. And pandemic or not pandemic, I will do. No, that is not.
Sir, I clearly get what you're saying, yes, Sir Jovi. But it's just now that I'm finding out or realizing that that is hope. Akala ko dati,
it's just simple.
Hope is just planning your day. It's as simple as that.
No, that's precisely, Sir Ron. It's not just planning. It is setting a goal. It is really setting a goal.
Yeah. Planning your day to achieve something.
Not just that. It is being able to see, what can I do for myself today? What can I do? Because we're talking about young people, We're talking about young people. We're not just talking about
but I'd like to think hope is.
And we're not just talking about people who have the means, precisely. We're talking about people who have, who are in a different context. Not necessarily people who have everything already. And we cannot start the process of development if we don't teach them that very basic capacity, which is goal setting. And the problem nga kasi is that we think goal setting is easy. We think that goal setting is, I plan and then I have set goals. But the thing is the goal something that is really in line with what I'm supposed to do at this present? Is it going to be responsive? In other words,
Baka yan, sir, ang element na ngayon mo lang sinabi. Yung goal, the kind of goal. Kasi right now, goal is any goal. Is there a particular goal that is necessary for it to become something.
So, okay. Kasi naman, nasa simula pa lang ako, tinitira mo na eh. Hindi tuloy makausad. Hindi tuloy makausad.
Sige.
So, una, you set the goal, and then you create the pathways, and then, you tell the young person, oh, you must be able to stay the course, especially when the going gets tough. So you say, let's plan the day, then you have to create the pathways. But then it's when it becomes impossible to reach, that goal, that's when you keep at it. That's when you say to yourself, oh, since it's a goal that I have set for myself, then I have to stay the course. But at the end of the day as well, I have to ask myself, is this goal going to really lead me to where I want to go? Is it responding to something in myself? It could be that, I want to get an A, but then is it responding to anything that is real in myself, or in society for that matter? Oh, yun ang sinasabi ko. So is it responding?
Yeah. So I'm still trying to catch or to capture the definition of hope based on what you are describing. So it's what distinguishes that from the usual goal setting or planning the day is the determination to sustain it, or the discernment to let go of it kapag hindi na pala siya umubra. Yun ang nakikita kong definition. Otherwise, it's still something. Yeah.
First and foremost, it's just a matter of being very simple. If, for example, for you, it's easy to set goals, it doesn't mean goal setting is not being hopeful. And I've heard that before. Goal setting, alam na namin yan. If that were the case, how come parang we're just going around in circles in our society, di ba? So lahat naman siguro in management position.
So, ano kaiba ng goal setting sa hope ka? Kasi when you sinabi mo, ang hope kasi ganito.
In my understanding of goal setting, it is really not strategic planning. And as the other person, Francis Lawrence, goals should be feasible. The person, kasi ang tinitignan lagi is, it's possible, di ba? It's possible if I do it, if I only think ito lang yung growth na i-target ko. So if I just increase it incrementally, then of course, it's a feasible goal, di ba? But
Sir, 5:45 na. Hindi ko pa alam kung paano natin ituturo isang bagay.
Because I'm just telling you what is really so simple, which is for a lot of people, it's really they're not able to do. And that's precisely it. Just because, let's say,
for example, for a group of people na nasa tyranny, like yung mga Pilipino sa ilalim ng Kastila, yung mga Jews sa ilalim ng Nazis, and it was so, ang meron na lang daw sila, hope. Totoo ba yun? Tamang use ba ng hope yung pagsabi nun? The only thing they have is hope, or the only thing they have is faith. Hindi totoong hope yun. That's why when you say it's so simple,
in other words,
hope always misused.
That's exactly it. We don't teach the hope that will say, oh, there's this thing that will do and it will change everything. As Father Freos would say, ang hinanap ni Descartes, it's a lever by which he can change the world. Sabi niya, parang hindi naman yata yun realistic, no? Pag lagi ka lang naghahanap ng isang lever, ng isang mapipihit mo, tapos magbabago na lahat, 'di ba? Lalo siyang hindi maghahantong sa pag-asa. Samantala, that lever na eventually, na sasabihin ni Ferios, that lever is your capacity to say to yourself, kahit ang hirap-hirap, kahit nandito ako sa Holocaust, kahit nandito ako sa pandemya na to, kahit nandito ako sa bayan na ito, at dahil nga nandito ako sa bayan na ito, What is that lever that I can pull, to change everything? Oh, myself. If I can take small steps towards what I want to become, maybe that's where it becomes different, Sir Ron. A person who
Yeah,
is hopeful is not just looking for a goal outside himself. Oh, I want to achieve that. Oh, I want to
yeah,
get
yeah.
that. This is something out, a goal, kaya hindi siya strat plan. Parang, this is where we are and we want to get here. Hindi siya. A goal is something that the young person realizes, I can be this person that is really totally different from what I am now. But then I have to create pathways. I cannot just,
And you have to create what?
but I have to create pathways for me to be that person.
Yeah. So yun na nga, the kind of goal is what makes it hope.
Kung goal siya, kung tunay na goal siya, hindi yung,
Yeah, si
I'm just
Francis Loria Rito. Si Francis Loria Rito is already participating. Goals
Yes.
should be feasible.
feasible siya.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. Well, lahat yata tayo para sa goal. Ang pinakatanong natin ngayon, when does hope come in? When it's a goal, it's already hope.
If you're able to set goals, no matter how dark the situation is, no matter how dire the situation is, and we see that, that's what makes a difference between somebody who has promise, and somebody who doesn't. He doesn't take his poverty as an excuse not to set goals for himself, or doesn't take his lack of let's say strength as an excuse not to set goals.
Is hope a feeling, sir? Like, it's an abstract thing. Is hope what makes you set your goals, or is setting your goals what makes you hopeful?
They feed on each other. So according to the studies, a person is hopeful is able to set goals. So if we want to teach our students hope, let's give them that space so that they can set their own goals. Let's not set the goals for them. Let's not set the pathways for them as well.
The effect of having hope. So ibig sabihin,
and at the same time, if they're able to set goals, their hope is built. Mas lumalakas yung hope nila. So kasi kung sineset na diba, sinasabi lang, meron ako mga horror stories na naririnig. Dapat honors student ka, dapat Latin honors, dapat ganito. Nako, that will really
Bira na yun, sir. Pero ibig ko sabihin, ang ibig ko sabihin, saan hugutin ng bata yung pag-set niya ng goals? Sa hope?
It's like this. We create that space for the child.
Okay.
In other words, that's how we teach our young people how to hope. We don't just tell them, di ba dati sinasabi, kailangan maging mabuting tao tayo, o kailangan maging napakabait natin. Magpakabait kayo, ha? Magpakabait kayo. Anong ibig sabihin ng magpakabait kami? Ang labo-labo naman yata. Kailangan bigyan mo ng espasyo yung kabataan na tanungin niya, anong gusto niyang marating sa buhay niya, di ba? Hindi lang, kaya yung itbulaga question, yung basli, tatanungin, anong gusto mo maging kapag matanda ka na? Bata pa yan, malay niya ang mangyayari sa kanya pag tanda niya, di ba? So, what we do is that we should really be able to give them that space so that they can set their goals for each day, but also to create the pathways, and then to make them realize when the going gets tough, we don't say, okay, let me talk to your teacher. No, you stay the course, or sige, you can just rest for now, and you don't have to do that anymore. No, if it is a goal that the person has set, and it's a pathway that he has created for himself, then kahit mahirap, let them struggle with it. But at the same time, of course, at the end of the day, we give them the support. And finally, that's how we teach our young people hope, when there are adults who give them support when they need it.
So since the question is paano natin tuturuan ng pag-asa ang kabataan, is it giving them space or giving them support?
All of that. All of that. All of that. Because they will not need your support if they're not able to try it out first on their own. So in other words, we no longer have to una we don't tell our students abstract things like let's change the world, or let's allow them to be able to set their own goals, because that will build their hope. And if we want to know how much hope they have, ask them what their goals are. Ask them what their goals are. I want to, Ron, I never want to give answers in our show. I just want to start a conversation. In other words,
Ako naman, kasi ako iniisip ko, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan, so the use of hope in that statement is correct? Is it correct? Ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan?
Yung kabataan, may pag-asa sila. Kung may pag-asa sila, sila talaga ang pag-asa ng bayan, di ba?
Oo, pero it's almost automatic para kay Jose Rizal na kabataan per se, pag-asa ng bayan. So ibig ko lang sabihin is when you look at the kabataan, yung youth ang nakita mo, automatic, meron na agad. Meron na agad pag-asa just by looking at them. In their inactivity, meron na agad pag-asa. So how do you explain that definition of hope as people use it in those statements, in those kinds of statements?
I think we can ask ourselves, what are we really teaching our students? Diba? Are we teaching them to just aim high? Are we just teaching them to look for the neoliberal goods? In other words, of becoming rich or having all the other stuff that other people have as well? Or are we giving them what the essentials, no? Yung mga lugaw ng buhay. And I think one of the most essential things that we need to teach our kids these days is really hope. And it's not something that is easy. It's not something, teaching them is not easy. But hope, the first question is, you define it. You know, that's one definition of hope that we can give. And we have to start somewhere. But then you clarify it yourself. What is that hope? What is that hope that you want to teach your kids? But definitely, we don't just tell them, oh, aim high, because that might really not teach them how to hope, but simply to aim high.
Di ko pa alam rin, sir, kung paano. So, when you want, what is a hopeful person then? What is a hopeful person? If you can define, don't define hope anymore. A hopeful person is?
A hopeful person, in the real sense, according to according to what educationists would tell us, a hopeful child is somebody who doesn't just say accept what he has at the present moment. And that is why that person sets goals. And it's not just a goal that, oh, I will study today, or today I will, what is it really that you want to reach at the end of the day? Or what do you want? What are your real learning goals? And at the end of the day, nobody can tell them that. Nobody can tell them this is what your goal should be.
Yes, sir. So
otherwise, hindi siya.
Do not extend the definition. A hopeful person is somebody who doesn't accept the current situation. And I don't know
somebody who doesn't just accept what
current situation and sets
right
goals.
Now. Yeah.
Transcend it.
And so that's why he sets goals. Kunyari, if a young person already
if he doesn't set the goal, hindi siya hopeful.
That is exactly it. So in other words, if you want to teach your kids how to hope, tell them, are you able to set your own goals?
Magkasabay yan. Hindi tinatanggap yung kasabuyang kalagayan, tapos maglalagay ng mga layunin, di ba? Na para habulin niya. Yun
so hindi pwedeng nagrereklamo lang siya, di ba?
Exactly.
Hindi pwedeng nagrereklamo lang siya. But at the same time, kasama na yun doon, no? Kung ang goal niya is to speak up,
Yeah. Yung reklamo na may
kasama
gusto
na yun
ano,
doon. Kung
kasama yun sa mga
kung meron
layunin
siyang goal to express himself and for young people that is the highest extent of their goal.
Ang kumpara dun sa walang mga layunin, yung hindi lang tinatanggap kung ano yung nandyan, yun yung reklamador na wala namang gustong puntahan. Kumbaga, kahit magbago yung kalagayan, magreklamo pa rin siya. Reklamo kung reklamo. So, tinutukoy natin yung mga nagrereklamo kasi meron kasama yun sa kanyang pathway. So, gusto natin magkaroon ng mga kabataan ganyan na hindi siya makakampante sa kanyang kalagayan, kasalukuyan.
And to express it, talaga hindi lang siya magreklamo, no? To really express it gaya ng ginawa ng Gat Jose, di ba?
Express it, no? Kasi express it, baka kada natin salitain, act upon it.
As well, yeah.
So paano tayo magtuturo ng pag-asa sa kabataan? So ano kailangan? Ano kailangan bigyan lang ng space? Hindi kaya yun baka bigyan ng space, pero paano ko yung bata na binigyan ko ng space ay wala namang kamulatan sa kalagayan, kasalukuyang kalagayan. Hindi ba yun necessary?
So exactly, kaya lumalagpas siya sa wishing. So gaya ng laging sinasabi sa atin, kailangan mag-analyze ka ng situation. Yeah? You have to understand your situation. And that's precisely it. Kahit gaano kadilim, no, yung sitwasyon ko, I should be able to make goals. But that is, I have to accept the situation as it is first.
Yeah. Ang tawag namin yan sa personal leadership. Para magkaroon ng personal leadership, pero ka munang self-awareness at saka clear direction. So pero sabay yun, no? Magka-clear direction ka, meron ka rin self-awareness. In the same way, hindi lang personal, no? Pati situation mo, the things around you, at saka ano yung clear direction. So, dapat sabay yata yun. So, dapat pagturo tayo sa mga bata na paano maging aware kung self man yun, no? Kung nakapalibot sa kanila. So, dapat bago mag-clear direction, this is very typical, sapiensya, eloquensya. Sapiensyahin mo nga mabuti lahat bago ka kumuha ng hakbang o ng humanitas. So, a hopeful person is somebody who creates a pathway to respond to something he understood. Okay? He understood deeply. Yun ba yun?
Tama!
Jovi?
Perfect! A!
Tama. Yeah. So siguro, para kung tuturo ko yan sa mga anak ko, hindi lang sa anak ko, kahit sinong estudyante ko, kahit hindi lang estudyante ko, kahit kaedad ko o kung kaya ko magturo sa mas nakatatanda nagtatanong sa akin, kailangan ang
turo natin kay
basta wishy-wishy. Kailangan, pwede ka bang, bago ka magganyan, para matiyak mo na hindi lang yung wishing at wishing, it's you're a hopeful person, ay dahil inaral mo na lahat ng pwede mong maaral, nakilala mo na at nasaksihan mo na lahat ng pwede mong saksihan, bago ka gumawa ng mga hakbang. Kasi kung hindi mo alam yon, baka mamaya hindi mo talaga mahantungan yun. Pero dahil alam mo na talaga yung kalagayan, then ano man ang pagsasana-sana mo dyan, ay baka yun yung element na yun, sir, sa hope. Hope is like immersing yourself to everything that is and to be very clear on it. Tumigil yata yung akin. Narinig mo ba ako sa Jovi?
Narinig kita.
To immerse yourself with, understand, experience, bago ka mag-design ng mga hakbang na gusto mong gawin.
And not to accept it. No? Sabi nga ni Ferrios, isa siyang hindi sa hindi. O, kung gayon, it's a oo sa oo. No? So, hinihindian mo na hanggang dito na lang, no? Hinihindian mo na ito na lang, 'di ba?
Siya ay pagtanggi, parang pagtanggi sa hangganan na pumipigil sa pagtanggi sa hangganan.
Kasi inanalyze, inawa mo na siya. Nagkaroon ka ng analysis.
Oo, kaya nga pag sinasabing parang yung sa kay Anselmo nga, Anselmo pa naalala ko, no? Unawain mo na lahat na maunawa mo para alam mo na faith na talaga yan, hindi love na talaga. Parang hindi mo yun. Ados nagmobulan lang tayo kung di mo muna inunawa lahat ng kaya mong unawain. So I think
so siguro Yes, sir, Ron.
Yeah, I think hope is doing your homework. Okay? Before
kasi paano ka naman makakaset ng goals?
before doing any move. And by homework, I mean equip yourself, be
at the same
understand.
time, Sir Ron, kung
And-
yung Easter na to will have any sense, will have any meaning for us, this Easter 2021, kailangan tanungin talaga natin yun. Are we giving each other hope? Are we allowing each other to be hopeful? You know, in the real sense of the word. No? Yung, tama yung tanong mo kanina. Maybe it's a false hope that we're giving each other. but we can ask at least the very question, no? Are we giving, are we allowing, are we creating pathways to change? Sir Ron, diyan ka pa ba?
Tapos na yung ate, di ko alam kung busog na ako. Madalas busog ako, pero ngayon parang lalo lang ako na, kailangan yata next Monday, ito pa rin pag-usapan natin Sir Jovi. Hindi po na yung essential. Pero when you give somebody, last na lang Sir Jovi, ano ibig sabihin ng pagbibigay ng hope sa ibang tao? Ano ibig sabihin? Ibig sabihin?
Wag mo lang sabihin na nabuhay na muli si Kristo. Accompany that person towards the path of actually moving out of the darkness that he or she is in, no? Yung tunay na pagsama dun sa tao na sa paglabas, no, sa dilim.
Kalagayang maskip, no?
Yes.
So yun. Sa katapusan po ng aming palabas ngayon, doon po kami humantong ni Sir Jovi. Salamat Sir Jovi sa yung pag-unlock sa lahat ng mga tanong ko. Siguro sa pagbibigay ng pag-asa, una, ang sinasabi na naintindihan ko sinasabi ng mga paliwanag Sir Jovi, hindi tayo dapat pumunta sa isang kalagayan na nasa maliwanag tayo at tinatawag natin ang tao na nasa dilim na pumunta sa liwanag natin. Siguro ang pagbibigay ng pag-asa ay yung sunduin nga natin siya dun sa kadiliman niya at dahan-dahan natin pakita na, halika, gawin mo lang to. At mapwede tayong umantok dito sa maliwanag. At pagdating sa maliwanag, baka doon mas kaya na niya gawin yun para sa sarili niya at baka sundurin ng iba sa loob. Kasi ang hope ay isang pagkilala talaga na posible ang mga bagay kaysa mga delusyon. So kung hindi pa kayang gawin yun ng mga tao na posible ang mga bagay, maybe the empowering move is to, kung kailangan nilang maranasan yun na kaya pala nilang gawin, hayaan natin. Kung kailangan nila ng suporta kasi talagang medyo nasa kadiliman o malalim ang sa kumunoy, suportahan natin. Siguro isang timplada ng suporta at espasyo kailangan natin ibigay. Otherwise, espasyo para mahanap niya, suporta kasi nahihirapan siyang mahanap. Pero kalaunan dapat mahanap niya na merong kabilang dako o kaya lampas na dako na umaakit sa atin palagi. Na dapat natin tumunan. O yan siguro, hopes. Pakinggan ko ulit.
Nakuha mo naman.
Yeah. Hindi, ganun naman ako. I'm a fellow student na makikinig ako sa teacher ko at saka ako para mapira-piraso ko yung nasa loob ng diwa ko na basag-basag kanina. And I think may naabot naman ako dito. Sana ganun din natin tagapakinig. Naabot ko naman tumahan naman ako sa kabila ng aking pagkaligalig kanina. So, sana makapagdulot tayo ng pag-asa sa lahat ng tao. Maipakita natin sa kanila
na pakita natin sa kanila ang mabuting pag-uusap na may saysay. Na may saysay. All right.
Oo. Yeah, yun nga sir. Happy Easter ulit. I'm so glad
Easter, Ron.
Chat with Jovi.
See you
yun
next
lang. At
week.
sa inyo lang na nakikinig sa atin, talagang isulong natin ang ating pag-asa at sana makapagdulot tayo ng pag-asa sa mga nahihirapang isulong yun para sa kanilang sarili. Yan lang po.
Alright.
Sige, Ron. Sige po. Bye-bye, sir.
Lundagin mo, Beybeh.
Bye-bye po. Lundagin mo, Lunes. Hanggang susunod na Lunes po. Bye-bye.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!